Hello and welcome to Mr. Wiley Teaches Math. Today we're going to talk about square roots without a calculator. First thing we're going to do is start with perfect squares, review from last time, because we're going to need these in a moment. A perfect square is any number to the power of 2, so multiplied by itself. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 8 is 64, 9 times 9 is 81, 10 times 10 is 100, 11 times 11 is 121, 12 times 12 is 144, and 13 times 13 is 169. So those are our perfect squares, and we're going to start with those in a minute. Let's choose a number to find the square root of without a calculator, and let's start with 17. I like to use this method just to help me organize my thoughts. And I'm going to come up with numbers that are too small. I'm going to put it on this side. Numbers that are too big, I'm going to put on this side. And I'm going to actually look for a number that's just too small, and a number that's just too big. So for the square root of 17, let's go down our list. And 17 falls right in here. There's our 17. It's between 4 squared and 5 squared. So 4 to the power of 2, or 16, is too small. And 5 to the power of 2, or 25, is too big. So our square root, we already have a pretty good estimate. The square root of 17 is between 4 and 5. Let's see if we can get a little bit more precise. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to the actual square root. We're going to work with a smaller number. We're going to forget about the 5 squared. We're going to work with 4, because we know it's 4 decimal something. 4 decimal something times the same 4 decimal something. And I look at this almost like a number line. The 17 is a lot closer to the 16 than the 17 is the 25. So I'm going to choose smaller numbers. Oh, maybe we'll start with a 4 decimal 3. 4 decimal 3 times 4 decimal 3. So that's squaring it to the power of 2. And let's see what I come up with here. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Always start with a 0. 4 times 3 is at 12 again. 4 times 4 is 16, 17. Add them up, we get 9, 4, 8, 1 with 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places. 18 decimal 49. So 4 decimal 3 to the power of 2, or 18 decimal 49, is too big. It's larger than 17. So let's try something a little bit smaller. Let's try 4 decimal 2 times 4 decimal 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, always start with a 0, 8 and 16, add them up, 4, 6, still too big. 4.2 to the power of 2 gives me 17 decimal 64, and I should drop my decimal place in there. It means I just have to keep going smaller because I need 1 on the smaller side, so let's try 4 decimal 1 times 4 decimal 1. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 4 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. Add them up. I get 16 and 81 hundredths. So 4 decimal 1 to the power of 2, or 16 decimal 81. Square root of 17 falls between those. I've got one that's too small and one that's just slightly too big. And square root of 17. So my estimate's getting pretty close now. Now I know the square root of 17 is between 4 decimal 1 and 4 decimal 2. So I can choose a smaller number, 4 decimal 1, and work with it. So I can take 4 decimal 1 something and multiply by 4 decimal 1 the same something. And again I look at this and say decimal 81, that's a lot closer to 17 than going all the way up to 64. So let's choose smaller numbers. Let's go with 1 again. Alright, 1 times 1 is 1, 1, 4. It's going to repeat again, 1, 1, 4, with 2 zeros. 4 times 1 is 4, 4, 16. So I add these up, 1, 2, 9, 8, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So 4 decimal 1, 1 to the power of 2, or 16 decimal 8, 9, is a little bit too small. So I'm going to try the next number up. I have to do that 4.1 times something. Let's do the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2, 8. Start with a 0. 1 times 1 is 2. 1, 4. Start with 2 zeros. 4 times 2 is 8. 4, 16. Add them all up. It's an addition symbol. 4, 4, 16, 17, 9. Carry my 1. 16, 17, 16, decimal 97. Still a little bit too small, but I'm pretty close. 4.12 squared is 16.97. So I'm going to try that 4.13 and see if I can get it to be a little bit bigger than 17. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Then 1s, so 3, 1, 4. And my last one, 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 16. This is looking like it's going to be slightly bigger. 3 times 3 is 6. 2, 3, 5. There we go. 5 again, so 17. So 4.13 squared, or 17.05, is a little bit bigger than 17. So right now my estimate is getting very close. I know it's between 4.12 and 4.13, and I could continue this down. I could continue with 4.13 something times 4.13 something, which I'm not going to do. But we can take a calculator and we can punch it in. Square root of 17 is 4.123. Oh, and that should have been a 2 because that was on the smaller side. I chose a larger number. It should have been the smaller one. I see my mistake now that I have the calculator out. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Please remember to check the class website for additional notes and the assignment.